Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dice Cast. I am Russell-san, and with me I have...
Fish man.
Well, last we left off, Aquans and Jonas had undertaken a mission on the behest of both the Lich figure, who constantly shows up in their lives, and the Archmage of the Lyrian Research Academy, to prevent a unscrupulous necromancer from using a student as a human sacrifice on his quest for immortality in an ancient facility that seemed to also set the Lich on his current path. They returned from there after success, leaving the necromancer polymorphed with the archmage and having taken the student to the infirmary.
Yeah, I need to recover for some drugs.
Yes. So we're going to be picking up the following morning.
Yay. Get to
So,
roll to recharge.
yes.
Oh, never throw a die into a pile of other die because you never know which die it was you threw.
No.
Hey, rolled a 5. Which
For which
means
one?
wand of magic missile. So I get 6 charges back, which means it's fully charged.
Yep.
I can't remember the last time I managed to do the one shot.
What about the Ring of the Ram?
I'm too happy about that one. So, all right, we'll roll this one now. Another 5. Woo-hoo!
So,
They're both recharged.
yeah, because it's D3.
Yep. Oh, someone's back. That didn't last long.
Hello, Tobias.
Oh, there you go. Oh, you're not helping, you know. There we go. Lay down. Okay, we're good.
For the moment.
For the moment until he distracts again.
All right. So yes, all our magic items have recharged, the ones that do so.
Yep. We are extremely low on healing potions.
We are, because we ran into a very nasty, magical, life-sapping tree in that facility.
Yep. And, well, it liked you.
Yes. So anyway, we wake up relatively later than we normally would because both of us are worn out from yesterday.
Yep. It was a difficult place.
As we look at our in-room window, we can see that there is snow falling, and it's one of those days in which you can tell just looking at the window that's going to be colder than it's been of late.
All right. Spring's actually not too far away.
No, but it seems that winter is having another one last hurrah, possibly.
Yep. All right. Time to go.
Okay. Bye, Tobias. Everyone say... Oh, you're not putting him out?
No, I'm just moving him. Unless he jumps back up here, then he's going out.
Well, we'll see what happens when you roll dice.
Yeah, so that's what he's after at the moment.
All right. So we get up.
Yep.
I get ourselves prepared for the day. I assume we head down to the common area for breakfast.
Yes.
A late breakfast, admittedly, because we've slept in today.
Yeah, it's a venturer's place.
Yeah.
There's always people coming and going and eating at all times and weird hours and everything.
Yes, we'll probably have to have our whatever the meal is reheated, but that'll be fine.
Yeah. Better than eating our own cooking.
Yes. So we head down to the common area.
Yep.
And another trend that has been happening of late, possibly to do with the weather, but more likely to do with recent events surrounding the dragon, is the common area in the Crested Kingfisher is quite busy.
Safety in numbers thing?
It seems to be. There's no one really sitting off on their own at the moment, you do notice, which is a little unusual. There's always at least a few people at the bar who tend to sit apart from everyone.
Yeah.
But as is the common theme at the moment in Lyria,
Yep.
there seem to be grouping together, huddling together against the cold and the monsters that are out there in the wilderness, and more specifically, the dragon.
Yeah.
We are able to find a table that we can sit at. Yep. But let's put it this way: we can't be picky about where we want to sit today.
Yeah, the funny thing about that is,
what?
most likely you and I are the ones that are going to get conscripted, let's say, to deal with this thing eventually. And we're the ones that we should worry the most and probably aren't worrying as much as we should.
Well, the thing about that is you are correct. We've already seen that public opinion in Lyria seems to be pointing towards us somehow resolving this issue. However, the nice thing about the way our lifestyle is there's always new things popping up in front of the future problems for us to worry about. So it distracts us.
Yeah. It's never a very clear path to one particular problem. It's just a pile of them.
Yes, exactly. One thing else we notice is, apart from the fact we see several other adventurer groups in here that we recognize, the two in particular are the Giant Slayers and the Headhunters.
I'll say hi to them.
Right, you wave to them, they respond in the sort of uh, business-like manner that is common among adventurers of other parties to recognize one another. We also notice that the notice board that is normally full of notices is relatively barren at the moment.
Hmm.
It's been a long time since we've taken a request from there, and it seems that other adventuring groups have been making short work of the jobs on it.
We no longer have a necessity to.
No.
Okay.
So we have a reheated breakfast, but it's
Yep.
at least hot,
Yeah.
which is good because it looks like it's going to be a cold day.
Want tea too.
Yeah, you can get a nice hot cup of tea.
And for the foreseeable future, this is going to be attuned to cold resistance.
Yes, I believe it's been set to that for quite some time.
Yeah, I just reiterate for the
Yeah.
people.
So both of us have cold resistance at the moment.
Yeah, it's winter. I'm a wuss. Even though I lived outdoors most of my life, I don't necessarily want to have to put up with the cold.
Oh, good grief. If you're a wuss, why does that make everyone else living in this city?
Let's not go there. Okay. I need to go to Rosemary's today if you're fine with that.
Yes, I think we could both do with picking up some more potions.
Either buying or getting ingredients because I am no getting those hydrosalts.
Yep.
I kind of had the impression that I would end up with at least one or two superior healing potions.
Yes.
I don't have any. I made one, failed twice, and yeah, this is not working out the way I hoped.
This potion's proving very difficult to make.
It's a DC 20.
Yep.
I don't have sufficient number of modifiers to make it even a 50-50 chance. So, yeah, I'm gonna go Rosemary. I'm gonna beg, borrow, steal, well, beg, borrow, whatever I can to make more potions or buy potions.
All right.
Is that
Well,
good?
yes, we finish up our breakfast and we head out into the snowy streets of Lyria.
Yep. Before the magical enchantments that are on this bloody place melt all the snow.
Yeah.
Okay, over to Rosemary's.
So we head to Rosemary's Time and Clockwork.
Yep.
Okay, so we go into her shop and we are greeted by the ultraviolet pixie artificer Rosemary.
Say ultraviolet?
Well, violet, I guess.
That'd be really hard on my eyes. Okay. Hey, Rosemary, how's it going?
We say hello to Rosemary. She
Yeah.
looks much like a lot of the other officials in Lyria at the moment. Rather tired.
Yeah, they're running you ragged too.
And she says, yes, there's been all manner of projects on the go at the moment. She says, fortunately, business has been good because of it.
Yeah.
We do notice that some of the items on her shelves, except for some of the pricier items, and that most people will not be able to afford, do seem to have been bought.
Out of curiosity, is that sort of dragon slaying still here?
Yes, it is still here. In fact, the city has even put in a request to possibly put that on reserve at the moment for her not to sell it, just in case it comes to the fact that it might be useful in taking out this dragon.
Well, not for us, but for
No.
somebody maybe.
Yes. No,
All right,
neither of us could even probably lift that sword.
well, certainly can't swing it properly anyway. Rosemary, I need healing stuff. What do you got?
All right. She says, "What exactly are you looking for?"
Uh, well, healing potions like greater or superior, and mandrake root, and yeah, mandrake root and or healing potions.
All right. She says, "The good news is I've been requested to make quite a few of those lately."
I can imagine.
She says, "A lot of my supply has been sold, but I still have some."
What you got?
She goes behind the counter and takes out 3 potion vials.
Yep.
We recognize on the labels, one is a standard healing potion of healing, and the other 2 are graters. There are no superior at the moment, unfortunately.
Oh well. Um, I'll definitely take both of the graders,
Yeah,
or we can take both of the
yeah.
graders.
I'll pay for one, you pay for the other.
Sure.
Right.
How much are they again?
150.
Right. Any mandrake root in?
All right, so we are both buying the potion of greater healing. Do you want to buy the regular potion?
I have 3 regulars, and I can make those with ease.
All right.
So actually, it's fairly easy to make the graders as well, but time is might be pressing. So
He says, "I do have some mandrake left over.
hey, how
I'm going
much?
to have to keep some of it back for just to keep making some of these potions. However, just he takes out 2 regular sized mandrake roots. I can let you buy these.
Take them.
Yeah. All right, so that's 100 gold for the 2 mandrake roots as well. So that
Yep.
brings you up to having 3, I believe.
Yes.
Just
And
I hope
the
that
other
can
thing I
tide you over for a little while. She says it might be a little while before I can get more in, especially if the weather keeps up like this.
who knows? We seem to be running through them really, really fast. The other thing I need is more paper and ink.
She says, well, I have plenty of that.
All right.
How much are
Down,
you looking to buy?
down to 10. So how about 10 more of each?
All right, so that's all right, so that's a total of 500 gold pieces worth of ink and paper.
Cool.
Hmm.
That was
I'm going to
another
do some
successful
scroll
buy.
work recently a little bit, so yeah. I'm going to take somewhat less, but I'm going to buy 400 gold pieces worth, so that's makes it an even 1,500 currently. All right, so we pay for that.
Yep. I wish
Yes, you
her
can
well.
get sorry.
I wish her well and her, her many, many requests for building things.
Yeah. Yes, you do get the feeling from not only our business but everything else that she's doing quite well for herself at the moment.
Yeah. She's I mean, she just made 750 off of me.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, I think she's doing really well.
yeah. I think the grand totals came to 1,300 gold pieces we just spent.
Yeah. And it doesn't even put a dent in what I have.
No. Yeah, that's
All
the
right.
gold we have. We're not even talking about the gems we managed to accumulate.
Yeah, keep those back for
Well, they're
my
spell components.
crystal summoning spell, yeah.
Yes, and a lot of high-end spell components require crystals, so we're probably going to be using them at some point.
Well, we'll just go kill a dragon, get their horde, and then we'll have tons.
Yes, it sounds so simple, yet in practice it seems impossible.
Yeah, just a tad. We just be charcoal. All right. Thank her. If there's nothing else that you want to do, I would like to hopefully today make a superior healing potion.
Well, I have some scroll work to work on, so we can get back to our room if you want for that.
All right.
And get that out of the way first.
All right. I'll get my magic cauldron out.
All right.
I will get out a set of
The medicinal herbs, the mandrake root, and the hydrosalts, I assume.
yeah.
All right, your fourth attempt to make a superior healing potion. This might be the one that evens it up.
Can't. I've got one success,
Two
two
fifths.
failures.
Yeah,
Oh no, this will even up. You're right.
that's
Okay.
one up. Yep, at
This gives
advantage.
me advantage.
I would help my portents aren't any good, unfortunately.
Well, the highest number was a 12.
So
That's
that brings
not
it up to 16, which is not high enough. Luck.
good old luck.
All right.
That's a 7.
Second point of luck.
That's a 3. Last point of
Point of
luck.
luck.
Give me a bloody other dice. I don't like that die anymore. And a 12.
So once again, you fail to make a superior healing potion.
I only have one hydrosalt left.
Yeah, well, there's always
Wow.
tomorrow.
Yeah, that is really infuriating.
This is a complicated potion to make, and your alchemical skills are not quite up to the challenge, it seems.
Yeah. Trying to get to 20 is ridiculous when you only have a +4.
Right. So while you are doing that,
That's all I can do today besides stew and pout.
I am going. I may as well use this portent because it's not going to be too good for anything else. It's right. It's not quite middle of the road, but it's a 13, so it's like right on the cusp of not necessarily being good enough to succeed in anything. Yes. I am going to scribe a scroll of knock because I wrote one yesterday. Oh, sorry, the last time, and then I used it immediately.
Yeah.
And we no longer have access to the chime of opening.
No, we burned through that real fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to be doing for a little bit.
I'm going to stew.
Yeah. So while you're stewing and I'm finishing up my scroll, there's a knock at our room door.
Oh, okay. Hello, who's there?
It says, is this Aquans and Jonas? Does you hear a voice? It says, I've come from the Lyrian Research Academy on on important business.
Did I recognize the guy's voice? Am I getting paranoid or what?
Roll a perception check.
I just opened the door.
You open the door, all right. You see one of the various couriers that the inner city of Lyria employs to run messages.
Come on in. What do you want?
Just, uh, there's some researchers at the Academy have called upon your aid for your aid to assist them in their current research. Apparently, something's gone wrong, and they're hoping that you can help them solve it.
That's unusual.
Hmm.
So who?
He says the names. We don't recognize either of them, really.
Okay, are you done with your stuff?
Yeah, we can finish up. We finished up here.
All right, now pack all our crap up and lead the way, buddy.
All right. So the courier takes us into the inner city, which we're familiar to this point, and to the Research Academy.
Yep.
All right. And we are taken to one of the labs, and you can go ahead to the next image if you want.
Shiny.
Yes. So we've not been in this part of the academy before. This is where a lot of the practical experiments are carried out by the academy, like actual sanctioned research projects.
Cool.
All right, so there's all manner of magical and alchemical equipment in here. You notice, of course, the central round table, which is
Yep.
inside a magic circle,
Mhm.
and there is an object basically sitting on the dais there.
Yep.
There are also a pair of researchers in here who are quite pleased to see us.
Okay.
He says, good, you've come. This is as we went to the Archmage, and he unfortunately said he was a little too preoccupied to assist us at the moment.
Yep.
And he suggested your names have been and you've been proven quite handy in uh, solving all manner of issues so far. So
This
we're hoping you could help us with our project here. And he gestures to the artifact on the table.
is most unusual. Usually our requests are involving something trying to tear somebody apart or something. So, what is this thing?
All right, so the artifact on the table that the researchers are gesturing to appears to be a spherical artifact that seems to be a bunch of metallic bands almost with runes inscribed on it.
Yep.
However, there's enough gaps that you can see inside that there is not one but two familiar tetrahedrons in there.
Oh, seriously?
Yep. Almost forming like an hourglass shape, with the two pyramids pointing towards one another,
Yeah.
is the archive Arcanum, which we recognize because we brought it all the way from
Well, this is our archive
one.
or
Yep.
column.
Yep. And the other is a golden pyramid, which we recognize as being one of the engine Arcanums, which, as is pointed out to us, is also the one that we brought from the Isle of Fog.
And look at the guy and say, "What are you doing with our two arcana?"
He says, he says, well, the Academy has been involved in research into Arcana for quite some time, and we've made some progress. Given the recent events involving the dragon, we've begun to believe that the answers to defeating it, or at least identifying it, might be found in the past. So we've turned to searching the past for answers, and in that search, we've come to the conclusion that the Archive Arcanum, and that you have found and generously donated to the Academy.
I thought the word was loaned.
All right, Jack O'Neill. Yes, we want it back without a scratch.
Yes.
Okay, says now the Blue Dragon, which by this point is basically an open secret in Lyria, that has
Yeah.
been plaguing us for this past month or so.
Yeah.
It says is clearly an adult based on all the descriptions we've been able to gather.
Yep.
It says we also believe, based on the descriptions in our research, that we're likely dealing with an adult female. There's not much of a problem, except for the possibility that this dragon's lair may, in fact, hold a nest, which might also cause problems in our future.
Yeah.
However, as she is an adult, and adult dragons are, at the bare minimum, over 600 years old, based on our notes on their biology, this means that she would have, in all likelihood, been alive during the final days of the fall. And, as we know, this Archive Arcanum contains written records from that time.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, we hope to use the Arcanum, which holds those records, to discover the dragon's identity, possibly the location of its lair, and hopefully a way of defeating it.
Okay.
And for that reason, we've created this device.
Okay. Can you just peruse through the notes that are in the arcanum?
There is a great deal there, and as the old saying goes, seeing is believing. We believe that this device is our hopes that this will allow us to view the records in the Arcanum during the final days of the fall as an image that we will literally be able to visually experience what happened.
Okay. I
It
have a
says,
feeling this is gonna go really, really wrong.
and hopefully gather knowledge about the dragon.
Okay.
Unfortunately, our artifact is at this point incomplete, and we've called upon your aid in the hopes of finding it, of finishing it.
Okay. What do you need?
Well, our artifact is missing one final component. It's called a flux core, and it was specially designed for this exact purpose. If you look closely, there is just enough space in between the 2 points of the Arcanum
Yep.
that which is where the flux core will reside. It's the final component that we'll need to which the engine Arcanum will uh, power and draw the information out of the archive Arcanum, and then the rest of the sphere will project it around us as we will get to experience the last days of the fall.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the flux core seems to have gone missing. It says it was being shipped from the Isle of Fog. It was last
Yep.
sighted. Actually, the ship has made land on Lyria in Lyria's harbor. However, when the cargo was being transported here, the core was not found among its in its place. It seems to have gone missing.
Someone stole it en route.
Or upon arrival. The other researcher speaks up at this point and says, unfortunately, the core has has some very sensitive magical materials that make up its components. As such, it was wrapped in amulet cloth in order to dampen its magic. They can keep it for safety of transport. Both of us can roll an Arcana check for that.
Now I roll a natural 20. Oh, I tell ya, my dice hate me.
Well, we're not in combat. Well, all right. We've heard of amulet cloth, and you know very well about it because it is basically an enchanted material that, for all intents and purposes, just as I said, dampens the magical properties of any sensitive materials or magic items to make them safe for transport. We
Yep.
also know that as a side effect of that, uh, objects enclosed in amulet cloth become very, very. It's very difficult for any spell to really interact with the object, including divination spells like Locate Object, which is
How about
probably why they've
locating?
come to us.
How about locating the wrapping? Can we locate that, or is it because of its properties it's hard to detect as well?
Both of them would be basically. You could try, but it's not necessarily likely. We have been trying ourselves, and we've not made much success.
Okay.
And it says, unfortunately, that means you'll have to think of some other way of locating it, I suspect.
All right. This sounds a little bit more up our alley.
Yeah. The other research as well. If you were looking for places to begin your search, I would recommend the harbor because that was
Is
where
that
the
ship
ship
still
came in.
here?
The ship is still in, yes.
Yeah. All right.
So,
We will keep you abreast of our progress.
all right. All right. So we leave the academy, and you can go back to the map of Lyria.
All right. Let's head up this way and head towards the harbor and look for that ship that they were referring to.
Yes. So we're given the name of the ship and the name of the ship's captain. So that's not. So we have a place to start.
Yep.
Do you actually want me to try locating this with locate object?
They said they did, right?
They said attempts have been made and they have failed so far.
All right.
That could also mean another thing that
Out
this
of
is
range.
outside of range.
Yeah. Well, if it was out of range then, it's out of range now.
Yes. Unless
So
it's a movement in movement somehow.
also it's blocked by water.
No. Locate creature is blocked by water, not locate object.
Really?
Yeah. Locate
Interesting.
creature, sorry, locate object is blocked by lead.
And apparently this cloth.
And this cloth. But yes. That's a side effect of its properties, though.
All right, let's go and talk to the captain and have a look at the ship.
All right. So we go to the harbor.
Yep.
So there are a number of ships in the harbor at this point. It
Yep.
seems that uh, with recent attacks by the dragon, a lot of ships tend to be staying in harbor for the moment and only going out when absolutely necessary.
Well, that's really going to cut down on the merchant trade.
Yes, clearly everyone's concerned at the moment, but there's definitely also the atmosphere of restlessness. Like, well, we're terrified to go in the ocean at the moment because of the dragon, but if we do not, we are going to run into trouble as well. So there's definitely that point of where it's getting to the point you can see a decision or a solution is going to need to come about relatively soon, you suspect.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
something has to happen or their economy is going to collapse.
Yes. And you get the distinct feeling that the dragon may have thought of that, which is why it or she, if they are indeed correct, has maybe toned down its attacks at the moment.
It's playing some kind of chess game for sure.
Yes.
All right, let's find the captain.
So we know what we're looking for, which is basically uh, a sphere, about a fist-sized sphere, wrapped in black cloth with silver runes on it.
Okay, I'm gonna have my all out of my shoulder.
Yeah, an aerial view might help.
Hmm?
Yeah, so yes, an aerial view might help.
Yep. And let's go find the captain first.
All right. I would like you to roll an investigation check with my assistance to search for the captain.
Just to find the captain.
Well, this is going to cover some of it as well, but see how long it takes.
17.
17. All right. So we ask around a little bit, and in short order, we find the ship that we were looking for.
Yep.
And we go and see the captain, who after a short discussion, is able to confirm from his ship's log that the flux core was loaded on into the cargo hold with on the Isle of Fog before they set sail.
Yep.
It was confirmed it was in there. It was secure. It was securely stored in a locked
Yep.
chest, in a magically locked chest because this is a sensitive material.
Yep.
And as far as he knows, no tampering was made to that chest the entire voyage here.
Mm-hmm.
However, at some point during the time, he also apparently interviewed the crew, and he said that when they were basically unloading all the cargo, and someone opened the chest to basically hand the core over to the courier who was supposed to take it to the academy, that's the time around time it went missing.
And who was the individual who opened up the chest?
He is one of his crew.
Well, we would like to talk to him as well.
All right. So, in short order, that crew member is summoned.
Yep.
And we go through an interview process where he basically is telling us the same thing the captain went with there, as far as you can tell.
Insight check.
Right.
And
Well, I rolled a 25. As near as we can tell, as near as I can tell, basically, he's being forthright and honest. He's very nervous because he's realizing that something has gone wrong with a very important shipment, and a very key piece of cargo has gone missing under his watch, and he's worried that he's in trouble about it.
well,
But
I mean, I could have gone with my other interrogation process.
with that,
Turn into a giant ape, grab both his arms, and threaten to pull him apart.
all right, let's try and stay civil here.
See, we're being
Yes.
very mild and controlled.
Yes, yes. So we're fairly certain that he's telling the truth, and short of casting detect thoughts, which I do not have prepared,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
going with your method.
you have stopped preparing that for quite some time.
We've been out in the wilderness for quite some time. It hasn't
Well,
come
we've
up.
been here forever now.
We have been here for a while, but again, it isn't something that comes up as often.
Yeah.
Also, I can only prepare so many spells a day.
Let's not go down that road because I can prepare four less than you.
Yes. Yes. I do love my Arcane Grimoire.
Okay, I'm gonna say the captain, you can go about your business. This gentleman here will show us where the chest was, and we're gonna examine that area.
All right. So we basically that means the captain shows us in to where the hold is, and the crew member takes us down, basically.
Okay.
And the chest has been put back in its spot for future,
Yeah.
for basically. So that might hamper any investigation here a little bit because it has been moved, unfortunately.
Well, I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna try and see if there is some form of footprint, mark,
Craft or
something,
anything.
something that
Yeah.
might indicate that not normal, like regular people were down here.
All right. So that will, well, basically what you're going for, that would either be perception or investigation.
Well, you know what I'm going for.
You can right? And you have advantage on that because you have your glasses of minute seeing.
Dirty 20.
All right. So needless to say, this is the cargo hold of a ship. There are all manner of tracks.
Oh yeah, I know.
So this does take a while, just from that point of view. That's a very good roll. So, excluding all of the obvious foot travel that would go through here from various crew members and various merchants and other individuals coming to a cargo ship to inspect cargo and to pay for it,
Mhm.
you do find two things that are a few things that are unusual. The first thing is you find a footprint that is basically that has been preserved a little bit by the basically the velvet lined interior of this chest that they
Tapped in the chest.
yep, that
Wow.
basically can, this is the chest that was magically wizard locked, that and it's meant to store in delicate and important materials. That's where the core was stored. And basically, apparently, because nothing has been disturbed on the inside since then, there's an imprint of a footprint of a small print there.
How small?
Very small. It looks like a cat footprint to you, like a paw print from a cat.
All right, time to get Alice out.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to be summoning Alice. There's one other thing that catches your eye
Mhm.
that's a little odd in here. It's a stray feather.
A small cat paw print and a feather.
It's just lying on the floor. It's basically on the back there, but yeah, it seems like there's a feather.
Okay. Before I touch anything, get Alice out. Have her sniff both of them.
All right, I'm going to sniff Alice. Get Alice out. She's going to sniff around. All right. Well, thankfully with advantage, that's not a natural one. All right, that's an 18 total.
Yep. Does she recognize the any sense?
Uh, a few moments ago, I mean, noticed this seems to be taking a bit longer, and I basically telepathically communicate with Alice to see what's going on.
Yep.
She's got an unusual mix of scents from this paw print.
Okay.
Right. Apart from the fact that there's obviously lots of scents in here
Yeah.
because it's the belly of a ship.
Yeah, they stink.
Yeah. The paw print itself does smell a bit like a cat, is what she's saying.
Okay.
But there's other scents in there apart from cat smell.
Like,
Well, she sniffs around, and after a little bit, she goes over to the feather and
yep.
sniffs it. And she says that that the cat scent is on this feather, and this feather also has the same strange scent that the cat print has.
Does she recognize that strange scent?
It's similar, she said, to what a bird can smell like, but
Yeah.
different. This is a bit outside her realm of expertise, we're thinking, but she's pretty sure that the feather and the paw print belong to the same creature.
Go in her brain and see if you can recognize it.
All right. This is going to be a high roll because I'm getting an imperfect picture here.
Mhm.
That's good. Is it good enough? All right. Yeah, just unfortunately, this doesn't really have any specific skill to it, so just be an intelligence check. That's a 19 total.
Do you have at least an inkling of what
I
this?
have a bit of an I have a bit of a clear picture now of what she's trying to say. It's not perfect. I don't recognize whatever this is, but near as I can tell, we are dealing with some sorts of hybrid creature from what she's describing.
I kind of figured either that or a shape changer.
No, well, that could very well be the case because shape changers do not necessarily change their scent when they change form.
I don't know what it smells like,
Yeah.
but we're looking for a small chimeric creature.
Yes, as far as I can tell, based on her image, basically something that is a cross between a bird and a cat, I suspect.
Arcana check.
You can
That's
roll an Arcana check.
obviously not natural. Never mind.
What was the roll?
Natural one.
Well, there are obviously a number of creatures that combine the qualities of both a feline and an avian.
Well, yes, but
We've
unless,
encountered one.
unless it's a really tiny baby or dwarf version,
Yes.
it's not likely to be any of the ones I can remember.
However, most of them, yes, most of the things you come up with, like a griffin or a manticore, tend to be quite large
Yeah.
and would definitely be spotted on a in a harbor.
Yes. And the other thing is, for some reason, I want to think this thing could be somebody's familiar.
It
And
is possible, but we do not
but
really have much evidence to point to that at the moment, apart from the fact that a highly important magical material was stolen.
yes. I know that some magic users can end up with special familiars.
Yes, in fact, that is probably something you or I could look into if you really want to.
No, I'm quite happy with my owl.
Hmm.
She's been serving me well.
Yes. There are all manner of familiars you can get, including some which can change shape.
Yeah, the only ones I can think of are kind of evil.
Yes, but nothing comes to your mind that fits this category, unfortunately.
No. All right, I'm going to tell my owl a very specific sort of set of
No,
instructions.
to be clear, I also pick up the feather to take it with us in case that can help us identify this creature.
Yeah, I tell my owl, I'm going to give her a name. Anyway, she is going to, I'm going to have her go to porthole here, and I'm going to have her fly around, and I'm going to say, just circle around,
Yeah.
look for a small-ish uh, cat-like creature with wings, bird wings.
Mhm.
Um,
That's
who
the
knows if it's even around here anymore? But
yeah.
just tell her to go do a circle for a while and then come back
All right. Did you
and
want
let me
her to
know.
also look for the artifact? That
Sure, I think that's going to be a real long shot,
all right.
but 17.
17. All right. We're we're just waiting here, I take it, while your owl does this.
Well, we're gonna have a look around a bit more while she does that. I mean,
All right. In the ship or on the docks?
both. I want to. All right, I'm gonna get a mental image of what that track looks like, and then I want to try and use
All right.
my survival skills to see if I can pick up where that track leads.
All right. The track is very easy to keep in your mind because it is identical to a cat's paw print.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can track it.
All
It
right.
flies, so this is a real long shot.
Yes.
That's not gonna be enough. 12.
Did you roll with advantage for my assistance?
Nope.
All right, give another roll because I would help you with this.
Apparently your help accumulates to a natural 1.
All right. Well, no, it keeps it from being a natural one.
Yeah.
So we look around in the hold and on the ship in general and on the dock
Yeah.
for a good 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We do not find any other paw prints. That does not mean there are not and that there were none,
Yeah.
but given how busy it's been here and just the amount of foot traffic, it has probably amounted to nothing, unfortunately. It's probably been any marks have been scuffed out at this point.
Yep. Unfortunately, I burned all my luck on something else today.
Fortunately, at this point, your owl notifies you that she's found something.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Cool. Where?
All right. She's circling, and we
Yeah.
notice that she's not circling too far away either.
Okay, head over there.
As we follow her, she basically alerts you that she's found something that looks like a cat with wings, and it's
Hey,
made a
this is
nest.
unexpected.
And it's made a nest.
Okay, maybe it's like a magpie and it likes to collect shiny things.
All right. So we are leaving the harbor. We're going back basically into the inner city,
Yep.
but she's circling over a relatively tall building.
And is it up on top?
Yes.
Well, get the brooms out.
All right. So we get out our brooms of flying,
Yep.
and we fly up.
Mm-hmm.
As we get closer, Owl is noticeably circling at a slightly higher height. And as we get closer, we do hear a hissing sound.
Okay. Cat kind of hissing sound.
Yes, it sounds very much like a cat hissing.
All right. I am going to take a long shot here, and I'm going to touch my amulet of animal influence,
All right.
and I'm going to try and charm this individual.
You don't see anything yet to target with the
Oh,
charm.
that to be visual.
Yes.
All right. Up we go until I can see it, and that's my plan.
All right. Okay. As we are approaching the rooftop,
Yep.
you your owl flies up as something darts up into the air after it. Basically, it's like, and for a moment you have the image of a cat leaping, the
Yep.
way cats do, to
Yep.
pounce, as it brings its limbs out to pounce on your owl. Wings do flap out inside of it as it takes flight after owl, taking away quite possibly the one advantage a bird has over a cat in this situation.
Right. Our bird population decimated with this thing around.
Yeah.
I unsummon her.
All right, I'm just going to see if the cat can. Yeah, can you just roll initiative just for this? It's not. We're not actually going into combat, but I do want to see if
I have a 12.
total.
Yep. I'm rolling really bad today.
All right. This creature has beaten you, unfortunately.
Oh no, can I? Oh, my owl's initiative should be rolled here, I assume
You
too.
can also roll for your alias. All right, you're looking to beat a 15.
Oh, 19 plus whatever her dex is. I think it's 3.
All right, so your owl is going first, then
Yep.
it's his creature, and then you.
Yep.
What your owl is basically just going to, unless you give it any other instructions, it's just going to fly away and try and not get pounced on by a flying cat.
It's going to circle around towards me if possible.
All right. Uh, your owl does circle towards you, and this flying cat-like creature is in pursuit.
Yep. And then is it flying towards? Well, it should be flying towards me as well now.
Yes, they both are. Unfortunately, let's see, what's the speed on this creature?
Are you trying to kill my owl?
No, this thing might be trying to.
Yeah. We'll make that distinction, I guess.
Uh, okay. Well, if your owl, the good news is if your owl is dashing, which it
Yep.
probably would be.
It's just running away. Yep.
Then this creature would have to dash to get in pursuit, which means it can't attack. Their
Excellent.
speed seems to be about the same, you notice.
Both about 50 then.
Oh, no, sorry. Your owl is just slightly faster.
Cool. And as soon
All right.
as they're heading back towards me and it's my turn,
Yep.
and summon my owl,
All right. Yep. The owl disappears.
and then I try and charm this creature.
All right. So there's a saving throw for that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the DC is fairly low. I think it's a 13, but I'll just double check.
That's a wisdom save for charm. All right. So this is animal friendship you're going for here, I take it.
Yep.
That's a 7?
Oh, then I don't need to look it up because it's not 7, that's for sure.
I think you're right. I think it is 13.
Yeah, because I remember redoing my DC 13.
All right. There's just one thing I want to check here. French.
If that even works at all.
Well, this creature is an animal. If the beast's intelligence is 4 or higher, the spell fails.
Yep. This thing's smart.
The spell has no effect, I'm afraid.
How about speak with animals? That wouldn't be the same.
Speak with animals has no saving throw. You just get to talk to them, but you don't get any special influence over them.
I will burn a second charge on this thing then and try and say, we're not here to hurt you. We just want to chat.
All right. It stops moving towards you as the charm fails because it's aware that you tried to charm it with the amulet.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's how charm spells work. When they wear off or fail, the target is aware of them.
Yep.
And it's a bit wary as you cast Speak with Animals and you are now speaking to this creature.
Yep. Said, look, just want to talk and not have my owl eaten.
All right.
You interested in talking?
It's it's basically doing that sort of thing that cats always do when they're a little wary. Except it's now doing this in air while flying. So it looks a little odd.
All right.
All right. All right. So what exactly are you trying to persuade this creature? It's not flying off at the moment, it's not attacking, but it's definitely on alert.
Okay. I said, well, I mean, I'm glad you're calming down because, I can get you something to eat. Maybe that will help. I see you have a nest. Maybe you do need to feed something or you're just yourself. It doesn't matter.
All right.
I have a question.
Well,
Did you?
first we should really roll for that persuasion check you just made.
Oh,
There's no charm in effect here, I'm afraid. It's a straight roll.
I know. I have a really bad charisma too. That'll be a 7 minus 1. 6.
That's a very low roll. All right. The flying cat
Yep.
takes wing and flies back to its nest and
Yep.
basically hunches down low and brings its wings down beside it, and it's watching us warily and just keeping its eye on us. And it's retreated to a place of safety.
Okay. I say to it, I'm going to get you something really tasty to eat. I'll be back. Fly off.
And I assume I'm staying here to keep watch.
No, you can come to.
Okay.
What do you watch? Whatever you like.
All right. I think that makes sense for one of us to stay here.
Yep. I'm going to go down to the market and I'm going to find a really juicy steak.
All right.
Raw, of course.
Raw, of course. Just roll a
Investigation.
I guess so. Or perception, yeah.
Oh, God, let it roll well on the crap. 22.
Yeah.
I want the choicest cut of meat I can find.
You find one. Very, 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 very nice. Very expensive. Are you paying for it?
Well, I'm not going to steal it.
Okay.
How much does that cost me?
It's going to cost you 5 gold pieces for this.
Holy crap.
You wanted high-end meat.
I didn't want Wagyu beef. But anyway, I have one.
Yes.
Eh,
So, do you want them to wrap it up for you?
please.
All right, they wrap it up for you. They give it to you.
I fly back.
Yep.
Is this roof big enough for me to land on?
Yes.
How long does Speak with Animals last? Sorry, I don't use this charm very often.
Hmm. 10 minutes
All right, so at this point, I probably have to burn the last charge on it.
to cast it again.
Yeah. Is there enough room on this roof for me to land?
Yes.
Okay, I do so. As far a respectable distance from
Yeah.
whatever this thing is. I unwrap the top of this um, raw meat,
Yes.
waft some of the smell towards it, say, "This is very good meat. Would
All
you
right.
like it?"
This is now animal handling, not persuasion.
All right.
So that's with wisdom, not charisma. So
So I
that's
get a
better.
+1.
Yeah.
All right, +1. That gives me a 13.
All right. Well, in true cat-like fashion, when presented with food, the cat comes out
Yeah.
and paws over to where the food is, but quite cautiously.
I set it down and
Yeah.
give it some space
Yeah. At this point, I would like both of us to roll a perception check.
just to see if the nest is empty or full.
Just perception check.
Natural 20. Oh, come on.
That's 2 so far.
Yes, but
I
on
have a
crack,
19.
not on the good stuff.
All right. Obviously, at this point, we're looking over at the nest.
Yeah.
And we do see, among other things in there, just a variety of other, just small trinkets and other things, which seems to have been, in addition to just holding the nest together, which seems to have been collected, is the cloth bundle holding what we assume is the flux core that matches the description.
Okay. Well, I'm distracting the cat.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do some fancy eye wiggles at you to.
Yes, I see that. So this is now a stealth check on my part,
And I'm like,
contrasted with this creature's passive perception.
also, it's distracted because this is really top end beat. Cost me 5 gold pieces.
All right, so you're arguing for advantage here, I take it.
That's all I can give you.
All right,
You have stealth now.
I do have stealth now, and that is a total of 21.
Excellent.
So, possibly aided by the fact that the I'm in the air and the fact that this creature is very much distracted by the stake,
Yeah.
I am able to fly over and quite quietly, discreetly pick up the flux core wrapped in the amulet cloth and store it in my bag of
Anything
holding.
else? Interest in that nest? While you're there.
No, it's just usually just a bit of minor stuff that cats will often pick up and collect, or birds will often pick up and collect.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, for coming up with such a creative solution, you can have inspiration.
Hey! Feeding a cat.
Yes. Speaking of which, the cat is enjoying the steak, but is eating through it rather quickly.
Okay. Well, I say, glad you liked it. Thank you for your time. Get on
Yeah.
my broom. Is the flux core actually in there?
Yes, I do check that it's in there.
All right. And I say, well, have a good day. And
Yeah.
we fly.
And we fly down.
Yep.
All right. Well, there's one thing dealt with.
Yeah, rather easily too, which is kind of nice. And I didn't lose my familiar.
No. It's been a while since you've had to use the charm of animal influence.
Yeah, and then dust it off. All right, let's head back to their little lab thingy.
Yes. So, in quick order, we head back into the Research Academy and return to the lab, and we hand them the flux core.
Yep.
And they are ecstatic to see that we've been able to pull this off in such a short period of time. They were expecting this to take a lot longer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you hire the best, you get the best.
Yes.
That's just me saying that internally.
Yeah. It says, where was it? It says, how was it taken?
Oh, long story. Don't worry about it.
You're not going into details then, I see.
No.
Leon wraps the animal thought, says, good. It says, it hasn't been damaged in transit.
Cool.
It says, we can finally begin. It says, and since you were both so instrumental in the completion of this our artifact, I think it's only fair that you two are permitted to watch our test of it and witness the echoes of the past yourselves.
Not entirely sure I want to be here for this. These guys aren't inspiring confidence.
No?
No.
They created something quite unusual and interesting.
And I'm expecting it to go horribly wrong. But I guess we're sticking around.
All right, so we are sticking around. All right, that's good.
Might back away a little bit.
So while one of the researchers is fitting the core into the device they've created,
Yep.
the other one who's done most of the talking comes to us and says, now, says, I believe a bit more of a thorough explanation of what our artifact here is meant to do is in order. This just to prepare you for what we are about to do.
No time travel involved here, I hope.
Says, no. It says the Academy has strict rules against research into time travel and temporal manipulation, and of any sort beyond the sort of things which are common in basics wizardry and spellcraft. The Academy has strong laws again rules against tinkering with time.
Good.
There's no. This is going to be less of that and closer to the. Besides, this is going to be more into the field of illusions mostly.
Okay.
We are going to be, for all intents and purposes, projecting a phantasmal image of the events that occurred in during the specifically in this case, as we hope, the final battle of the fall. This the massive war between the forces of law and chaos that destroyed entire section of the continent of Ron and reduced it to the shattered wastes that we now know of.
That is something big.
Yes, it was a battle in which gods and demons fought and perished.
Yeah. All right.
Now, with that in mind, there is one slight caveat that is probably worth mentioning.
Well, just slight, huh?
It says, now, as I said, this device is not physically possible to transport us in time.
Yeah.
However, an event which has been coined by my colleague here as a time slip may occur.
That sounds like time travel to me, buddy.
It isn't actually time travel because there will be absolutely no way that if this does occur, any of us will be able to influence past events. So this is just a recorded message that we will be viewing as an image. It says no different than the records in any of our various books here. It will just be coming to life before our eyes. However, as this is effectively a massive illusion spell that will be being generated here, I'm sure you're aware that various forms of illusions can take root within one's mind and psyche. There are various spells that can do that. It says, as such, it's possible that a time slip might cause it says, well, basically a form of mental connection between one of the individuals viewing the past image and someone who was actually there and experienced it.
Yeah, I can see this going south.
And it says, well, it says, it's done. The other one says. So, if you want to run away now, now's the time.
Oh, we faced down so many things, and then this is the one that has me worried.
But it sounds of it, there's no actual danger.
I have cast illusion spells that have killed things, so
Yes, you do know that there is a possibility of danger here, but
yeah.
it seems relatively. It says, "Trust me, it's rather minor. We've placed ample safeguards in place to prevent such things."
Not reassuring me at all. Okay, have at her, guys. Let's see what happens.
All right. So this is. It says, "Please stand next to." It says, "All right, very well then. Please come and stand in the circle with us."
A place I don't want to go. All right, go stand in the circle.
It says, it says, "Very well." It says, "We will now cast the spell that will activate the device." It says, and it will. It says, "At least visually transport us to the final battle of the fall in hopes of observing the dragon." It says, "It will, of course, be up to us to actually spot the dragon among the ensuing chaos, as I understand it."
Yeah, all the other gods and demons and everything else.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And they begin the chant. And the various iron bands that make up the artifact begin to rotate and spin. And it actually
Yeah.
does raise off the table it's on a little bit.
Okay.
And the central mechanism, which has the two Arcanum in it and the flux core, which now that they're all in there, does vaguely resemble an hourglass to your eye,
Yep.
begins to spin and rotate in such a way that as if it's an hourglass spinning and rotating, it would be turned over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
All right, and as that happens, the runes along the bands glow bright blue, and the only way to say this is reality around us seems to change as the table, the circle, the candles, and the rest of the laboratory that we're standing in vanishes
Yep.
and is replaced with a very different scene. And you can move ahead an image if you want to.
Oh joy.
All right. So we are still basically, for all intents and purposes, standing by the
Yep.
artifact that's spinning in the air as they finish the spell. But the difference is now we are standing mid-air, basically for all intents and purposes, almost looking like satellites orbiting this sphere. So we're looking down on this scene.
Yeah. What a pleasant scene it is, too.
And as you can see, the battle is well underway.
Looks like everybody's dead.
So this is not completely accurate
Okay.
because there will be a lot more corpses than this.
More than this. All right.
And there are a great many combatants who are not dead. Yes, we are definitely viewing a war.
Yep.
And there is smoke, and there are flames and embers, and there is death and chaos everywhere.
All right. So we're supposed to be looking for a dragon.
Yes. So what we know of the final battle of the fall is this is basically the final climactic battle in the war that became known as the fall. And in it, the forces in the service of the gods of law battled the servants of the gods of chaos. And surveying this battlefield for a lone figure, even that of a dragon, will be quite the task.
Yep.
So
So
so basically this is going to be a skill challenge, a skill check challenge. So we've done those before.
yep.
It is going to be a perception checks we're going to be rolling here.
Yeah. Okay.
So you are going to be rolling these with my assistance.
Okay.
And very much my assistance because the other two are very much just agog about what's going on here.
They should be the ones holding it together.
Yeah.
That's pathetic. Highest number rolled was a 10. My perception modifier is 1. So that's an 11.
All right. You rolled an 11. All right. Well, for a moment, you look like you think you have to see because you do see a dragon on this battlefield. One that is truly colossal.
Oh,
It
wrong size.
that has been you've heard rumors of the size of dragons that they can reach. This is large, even for an ancient dragon.
Okay.
And you also notice that this dragon appears to be surrounded by countless soldiers. Despite this fact, the dragon seems to be winning. And one thing that stands out about this dragon is its many heads.
Oh, good God. This is Tiamat?
There are 5 heads of different colors at the end of long serpentine necks. And it is a massive dragon, and each head unleashes a terrifying breath weapon. And they are making short work of the forces of law because Tiamat very much fought on the side of chaos during this war.
Yep.
And despite this fact, she does not seem to be struggling at all. And just for a faint moment, you're quite happy that we do not have to fight this dragon.
Not for a moment. I'm just perfectly glad that I don't have to at all. Yes.
Yes. So that would appear to have been a failure on our part.
Yeah. I nudged the two wizards and say, look, we're here for a job. Look for the dragon. Not that one. Something else.
All right. They can so they can assist us now as well, which is going to give us a bit of a bonus.
All right. So I'm going to roll for them, which I probably shouldn't do because I've been rolling really bad. Oh, what modifier do they have?
All right, so add your wisdom modifier first.
So that'd be an 18 then.
18. All right, and then you can add an additional +4 onto that.
Oh, all right. 22.
All right. 22. All right, so that's a success.
That's good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we came here. Well, not here, but we witnessed this for nothing.
Yes. So we're surveying the battlefield away from the colossal dragon, and we see a few more fights breaking out as we scan the battlefield for a dragon.
Yeah.
There are 2 things that do stand out to us. One is a tall, elderly man. However, he's still well muscled, with hair and a beard the color of storm clouds. And he appears to be blasting what we think are the forces of chaos, because we recognize some of the Keiko demons that we've encountered.
Yeah.
And they appear to be fighting in this war. And he's blasting them with lightning bolts, but not the standard spell lightning bolt, because he's throwing them like javelins.
So this would be one of the gods, I assume.
Yes.
Zeus.
As far as you can tell, this would likely be the god Zeus. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Another battle that catches our eye is between another older man clad in armor with a single eye, and he appears to be using a spear. And also, we notice, unusually for someone dressed as a warrior, wizardry that we recognize as an actual wizard spells he's unleashing, and he's fighting a truly massive wolf.
Well, the only Cyclops I know that's godlike would be Hephaestus.
Hephaestus is not a Cyclops. You can roll a religion check if you want for this.
Well, Hephaestus was a Cyclops.
No.
No, he had Cyclops working with him. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Oh, religion. God. That's a natural one.
Natural one. All right. Well, okay. So I said, well, you don't recognize that. I said, I think that we're witnessing the duel between Odin and Fenrir, which did take place during this war.
Odin was Single eye?
He was missing an eye, yes.
No, not a cyclops though.
No, he was just missing an eye.
Yeah.
And Fenrir was indeed a giant wolf.
All right.
All right. We continue. It was a success. So we seem to be getting more of a focus on the chaos at the moment in all
Okay.
this. So that was one success and one failure. You can roll again for the next check.
What modifiers?
Well, basically, you're adding 5 to this with because your wisdom plus their bonuses.
21.
21. That's another success.
Yep.
All right. We begin turning our gaze skyward to look for a dragon at this point.
Yep.
And we see another battle, which appears to be among the gods and the titans, as we see this one taking place between both sky and ground, sky and earth, 2 different individuals facing each other among the sea of corpses.
Okay.
One of them is a bird-headed man who is sailing on the sky on what appears to be basically a ship made of solid light. And he seems to be unleashing the very light and heat of the sun against a massive serpent, which is as black as deepest midnight.
Hmm.
And there,
Another religion check.
yes.
Oh, getting better. 15.
All right. We both recognize this battle because it's also quite iconic. The bird-headed man on the ship is Ra, the sun god, and he is fighting his eternal nemesis, Apophis, the serpent of night.
Yep.
And we see literally 2 chief gods of law and one of the chief gods of chaos confronting one another. And we are also surveying the battlefield, and we do see a variety of serpentine entities flying through the air,
yep,
which could easily match that of a dragon. One in particular sticks out in our mind is a long serpent, similar in size to Apophis, but of clearly opposite. This one is of silver scales and has wings,
yep.
as the plumage of tropical birds, and seems to be using those wings to create gale force winds to knock airborne enemies out of the air and send them crashing to the earth below.
Quetzalcoatl?
That would be your best guess on who this would be.
Yeah. Okay. Still looking for a dragon.
Yeah, that's a success. 2 successes so far, so we're making progress.
Oh, we even need more successes, do we?
It's a best of 3. Remember, it's 3 successes or 3 fails, like skill challenges.
Okay.
So
One more.
one more.
Oh, that's even better. 24.
All right. As we're surveying the battlefield again, one more group sticks out in our mind. 3 individuals who look quite young compared to everyone else fighting here. 3 almost look like triplets, as far as we can tell.
Yep.
And they look like 2 young men and a young woman. The young woman has a mirror in her hand, and she's just moving it back and forth, and beams of light, very similar to what we saw Ra using against Apophis, seems to just emanate from this. A rather wild-looking young man wielding what is a rough approximation of what an ancient equivalent of a katana would look like.
Okay.
Wherever he swings it, the wind itself seems to cut enemies down.
Yep.
And another young man dressed in dark clothing with a yumi, which is a Japanese longbow,
Yep.
firing arrows, which seem to shoot up into the air and come down as beams of moonlight. And they fight in unison, you notice, as they move across the battlefield, dealing with whatever comes their way.
Another religion check?
You want, yes. Well, that's a natural 1 this time, which is sad because I probably would.
12.
12. These 3 are too obscure for either of us to know.
Okay.
However, after we survey that, we do notice the roar of a dragon. a blue dragon.
Excellent.
So our successes seem to have paid off here.
We finally got to the one we want.
Yeah. Yes, spotting a single blue dragon in all this mess.
Question is,
Is this
as
the right one?
not so much that. I talked to the guy that we've been talking to all the time. So, okay, we spot a blue dragon, but how does this help us in the present?
Says we might be able to learn something. Says if says we're hoping to able to identify, get a closer look at her, and possibly learn the dragon's name if possible. We have records of various things in Lyria's library. We might be able to determine where her lair is and other details that might help us.
Well, I don't think she's going to volunteer that information.
Hmm. Well, all right. So we do look upon this dragon. We are able to get a close look at this point. And, well, this is the closest we've ever been to a dragon, first of all, so that sinks in.
Yeah.
However, upon closer scrutiny, it becomes clear that she is different than the typical specimen of a blue dragon that we've often heard described.
How so?
Her form is far slenderer than a typical blue dragon, and her scales don't have quite that hard reptilian look. It's closer almost to like fish scales, you notice.
So not our blue dragon.
It might be. We haven't actually encountered this dragon up close.
True enough.
Mhm.
I have a question of great importance here.
What's that?
Can she see us?
He says, "No, no, no. We are basically just observers."
Okay, because
He says, "Bear in mind, this battle took place 500 years ago."
true, but we're watching it. Maybe she can watch us.
Hmm. And he said, "Yes, I mean there are a great many gods down below there."
Yeah. All kinds of bad things can happen because of this, guys.
Yeah. Anyway, so as I was describing, she has a long neck and a tail which ends in a fin reminiscent of a shark's,
Yeah.
and she has a head relatively similar to that of an eel's, and she has a long ribbon-like fin which runs down her spine. But the biggest thing that's the difference between we've seen this and other blue dragons is she seems to lack the typical horn, which is very prominent on the snout of a blue dragon.
Okay.
Oh, and the other thing we're given ample opportunity to observe is her breath weapon, as she unleashes a blast of electricity
Yeah.
in our direction, by the way,
Yeah.
as it just passes through us, and we get a really good look as it goes down below onto the battlefield below. And as it passes through us and hits the ground below, we're also given a bit of time to ponder the fact that as that was her breath weapon as a young dragon at this point, while quite deadly, it'll pale comparison to whatever she now possesses as an adult.
If well, if this is our dragon,
Yes.
because we don't really know.
Well, the other two are like, I think that matches some of this is no, this is I think this is we've seen a few descriptions. We've had a few descriptions given of this dragon. I think this might be the one we're looking for.
Okay, let's assume that it is for the moment. How is this helping us?
He says, they're both looking back and forth at this point. It says, well, it says we found
Oh,
they're looking back and forth at this point. You can tell that basically now that an actual something practical is expected to come out of this, they're
yeah.
a little unsure.
Yeah, gotta love researchers. Hey, I found an answer to something. It doesn't do anything for us, but I found something. All right, we found a dragon.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo. Could be our dragon, may not be our dragon. Who knows?
Well, the is what you may say at this point. Well, we have at least a good idea what the dragon looks like.
Okay.
That might help us with they're right, that might help us identify her.
I suspect the one that's blasting electricity at us is our enemy. And the rest is kind of irrelevant, unless, I mean,
Well, again, she would not be blasting electricity at us specifically.
okay. I mean, the dragon that's causing issues for Lyria
Yes.
um, is a blue dragon.
Yes.
Whether or not it's this blue dragon, to me, seems irrelevant. I say that right to his face.
It's the researchers.
Yeah. He said, look, this is all cool. I'm glad I saw it, but I don't see how this helps us in our current dilemma against the blue dragon in Lyria. I'm waiting for that epiphany that says, oh, yeah, yeah, okay, we can do this.
All right. Well, it's at this point the you hear a voice shout from below, from where the blast of lightning was just sent,
Yep.
and we see the three individuals who are standing together and fighting as one. The
Yep.
man with the longbow aims up and says a name at the shouts at the dragon and says a name, which might help in that regard. It says Iluyanka. It says leave this place or die. It says I will not permit you to to continue this uh, pointless slaughter. It says let us end this battle. It says this is not fitting for gods and beings of your stature. It says, and he looses the arrow.
Ilyu Lanka.
Iluyanka appears to be the name that he said.
Right.
He looses the arrow, and it turns into another shaft of moonlight. We've heard spells described like the druids can cast called Moonbeam.
Yep.
This is a bit like that, except a lot stronger and not stationary. Well, whether or not this is our dragon or not, she takes the blast square in her torso
Yep.
and almost is knocked out of the air. And at that point, does seem to uh, well, gauge the situation,
Yep.
turns and starts flying away from the battlefield.
Okay. Can we follow? Talked to the researcher guy. Can we follow her?
Says no, not if this is the last that she's in this battle. It says bear in mind we are just projecting all this based on the actual written records in the Aracanum.
Okay. So try and keep an eye on her and memorize the direction she flew off in, I guess.
All right, that will definitely be an intelligence check.
All right. Oh, that was gonna be nice until it flipped over. 12.
Basically, one of the we're both rolling this, and one of the researchers will assist both of us, so you can have advantage.
30, 20.
All right, I have a total of 15. Well, we're pretty sure the direction that she's heading in is east or southeast,
So if we're talking about from the Shattered Wastes
which is in the far west.
coast,
Sorry?
the Shattered Waste is in the west, so she's heading this way.
The
Is over
east
here,
by southeast.
so she will be. If this means anything, her lair should be southwest of Lyria.
Yes, it is in the same general direction as Lyria.
Yeah. So
That does not necessarily mean much, though.
doesn't mean anything other than the fact that we have a name that might be annoying if, well, she might get annoyed that we know her name.
Yes. It might help us determine more through research.
Possibly.
Yes, and we also have a name, a bit of a description, and a general direction that might be enough to go off on for the moment.
It was interesting, guys, but
Yeah.
I think it's time to shut this experiment down.
And on cue, the artifact begins to whir and move much more quickly as the bands are it begins to speed up, and the image around us begins to shift again.
Is the lab coming back?
This is different than last time. It seems to be getting a bit brighter.
Is the
And
lab
the
going to
light,
blow up now?
what?
Is the lab going to blow up now?
No, but the light is becoming quite blinding.
Close my eyes.
Yeah, we close our eyes as the light radiates outwards, and it becomes from a deep blue to a brighter white. And we basically have to keep our eyes closed. We can't see anything at the moment. And this is going to be a good time for us to take our break.
Okay.